Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I promised you a Black Arts Bay, and a Black Arts Bay is what you're gonna get. Forecourt Jester here for the Hitbox Stormgrounds number 2, as we're looking to crown a victory here in our game series number 2, and the winner of this to be taking on Team Bob for our last best of 3 by the end of it. So, Gamers2 currently leading 1-0 over Genei Ryodan, and it does look like Gamers2 with the first pick, first ban, they're banning out an Illidan. Now, you might be like, what? What just happened? Did the meta change? No, it's cool. It's cool, guys. It's cool. This is just a really good map for Illidan. Illidan, Sonya, anybody that can go off in solo merc camps has huge value on Black Arts Bay because there is a little bit more of a PvE portion to this game. You take out any kind of merc camps, you take out any kind of chests, and you're going to get the coins. And the coins for this map are the resource. And the only way to get them is to go do those, merc camps or those chests. So, Illidan as a ban, Gamers2 saying not going to want to deal with it, but at the same time, they're saying they themselves don't want to run this. Genei Ryodan basically forced into the Zero Tool ban, which does lead us into a first pick for Gamers2. And remember, there's kind of the big 3 power rings right now for picks. Jaina, Zero Tool, Leoric. Genei Ryodan last time did actually put forth a Leoric. This time, not opting to do it. They will take away the Johanna Asmodan. Now, the Johanna Asmodan Jaina is like the dream comp for early. You can rotate around, you can start playing the stacking game. But Genei Ryodan not going to get that Jaina, so we're still looking for a little bit more of a wave clear. Tassadar, Vala, Leoric. The problem is that Genei Ryodan at this point, they're out of picks. They're going to have 2 picks here from Gamers, ban, and then finally Genei will actually be able to finish up their next set of picks. So will they actually get that Leoric? I have high doubts. But here comes the Zagara from Gamers2. They're highly value their Zagara as an early pick potential. And very likely, if I had to take a guess, Zagara will be into the bottom lane, because bottom lane for Black Hearts is a little bit more separated from the mid, from the top. But at the same time, you need a good solo laner. Zagara can be that solo laner. If I had to guess, actually, Genei Ryodan, with that Johanna, probably going to go into a Leoric Nazebo. Depends on what the next set of picks and bans are, because if it's not going to be the Nazebo, it's probably going to be the support. But we'll have to see what Gamers2 go for. They are going to go for a Malfurion. Okay. So, we saw this last time. They go into early support picks to kind of get the supports that they want for their comps. They can't fall into any kind of traps like this. So Genei Ryodan, they're going to say no Vikings. All right. Not entirely too sure Vikings are a huge threat with Zagara on the board. But at the same time, if we put up the Vikings into 2 other lanes, we four-manned a different lane with a Sylvanas, with a Zagara, which just like what we saw last time, that could actually result in a very quick fort. Because basically, like, Genei Ryodan would have to stop the stacking game, and they'd have to go, deal with that. Asmodan, early on, probably not the best of bets in terms of, trying to deal with that early kind of aggression. So the Vikings could actually be a very high value ban. Really depends if Gamers2 is really going to, go for that kind of comp. Because if it was going to be a Zagara, Sylvanas, Jaina, Malfurion, Lost Vikings, that's a little bit of a weird comp. Either way, Gamers2 saying no Leoric. And, again, he's a big power pusher. Genei Ryodan very likely would have wanted that Leoric, but they prioritized the Asmodan Johanna instead. And that's the problem with being a second pick. You have to make huge calls on what you prioritize in these drafts. So now they have two picks all to themselves. Tassadar, Vala are kind of the big the big go-tos when it comes to adding on another for the stacking game. And the stacking game from Asmodan and Johanna are likely to be ping-pong between top and mid. If it's not going to be them, Sylvanas could be a good counter here. Because if Gamers2 goes into a Warrior and a Sylvanas, well, we still have a heck of a push comp. In fact, Gamers2 could even throw everybody bottom lane at the very beginning, use the Sylvanas passive and the minions from Zagara just to really chunk down a tower. If you chunk down, like, for example, the mid tower, and then you get the first 10 coins, that's a first keep. Fort. That's a very quick fort if you can get control on the chests. So Genei Ryodan saying, alright, well, we got to take our time. They're down to 30 seconds of their pool time as well. In terms of heals, it's probably going to be an Uther for them. Depending on kind of what else they come out with here. If they take the Uther, they could easily go back to the Tyrael Falstad. But it's going to be an Anubarak instead. So a little bit of push for push. Zagara can summon a heck of a lot of minions, so can the Anubarak. It's a great stun warrior, great engage, but at the same time, he can also take up a lot of shots with those bugs of his. And the bugs actually can push in fairly well by themselves. So who else will they add here? Will this be the Uther? They're going to take a Rhaegar. So the distributed damage models are definitely held out better by Malfurion, by Rhaegar. But, you know, we don't really have another stacker here at this point. It has to be like a Vala or something heavy DPS by the end of it. Kael'thas actually nowhere to be found as of yet. Could this be a last pick Kael'thas? That'd be a heck of a thing. Now, at the same time, Gamers2 have a big opportunity here. There's a Kael'thas on the board. Jaina, Kael'thas for this core damage, Zagara for the laning, Malfurion, and then you throw a Mirrodin on top of that? It's a heck of a comp. Because not only will Zagara be able to maw, but then you have heavy, heavy follow-up. Doesn't look like it's going to be a Mirrodin. It's going to be an Arthas. I'm a little curious as to why it's an Arthas, but Arthas Jaina, double frost magics. Malfurion's going to get some good heals. Arthas has some self heals. Sindragosa can get a lot of value out of this as well. If you don't want to go into Sylvanas, an Arthas and you still need a warrior is actually a really good pick because Sindragosa is on a fairly light cooldown, something like 45 to 60 seconds. Not the end of the world. But at the same time, when you want to finally start concentrating on those pushes, you throw forward that Sindragosa. Not only will it slow down any stragglers from Genei Ryodan, but it'll also disable towers and forts. It'll root mercenaries. It'll root creeps. I'm curious, how aggressive are we going to get here from gamers? Now, for a last pick, they can go into a melee DPS, a ranged DPS, Kael'thas, Vala, Tassadar, Sylvanas, Nazebo. Illidan's out, Zeratul's out. Could this be a Butcher? A Butcher Arthas roaming comp actually could get some pretty decent value. Especially if you roam to bottom a lot of the time, because you're going to be pushing against Zagara. We don't really have a laner to take on Zagara as of yet from Genei. Unless that last pick is going to be a Nazebo. But then it's going to be a Nazebo Azmodan and double warrior comp. Alright, it will be a double warriors from Gamers2. It will be a Tyrael. So the only kind of hard hitter here from Gamers2 is Jaina. Arthas for the front line, Tyrael for the judgment, unless this is going to be some kind of crazy sanctification game. And it will be a Falstad last pick from Genei. If I had to guess, it's going to be an Anubarak for the bottom. If you put a Falstad against the Zagara, Falstad will lose 100%. 100% that Falstad will lose. And you don't want to chain Falstad to a lane. You want him to be fairly light on his feet. He has the fly. He can go into a bribe, and there's a lot of things to bribe on this map. Power Throw won't even save him out of this one. Even Vampiric Assault won't save him at level 4. But Genei Ryodan definitely favoring the Falstad. They didn't get the Tyrael this round, but they did get the Falstad, and I have to guess there's going to be Bad Benny on it once more. Bad Benny last round had Power Throw, Secret Weapon, Giant Killer. But at level 4, he had Flow Rider for the reduced cooldown on Barrel Roll. Sorry, our observer got removed out of the the lobby, so just making sure we actually have an observer. All right, we're good. Anyways, Gamers2 and Genei Ryodan coming into this one. Gamers2 definitely looking more solid with the play. Definitely more solid with the draft, I think, this round. Genei Ryodan with the double tank and no secondary clear. I guess it's got to be Rhaegar. Like, if Rhaegar waddles in with Lightning Shield and Johanna can then come in with the Condemn Azmodan, I mean, that would be the stacking game right there. But it's Blackheart's Bay. Anubarak can go off and do camps. Rhaegar can go off and do camps. Falstad can't. Johanna, well, she could, but she shouldn't. And Azmodan definitely can't. Not until much later into the game. I'm fearing a little bit here at the draft stage. The draft stage is not looking so good here, as Gamers2 looking a little bit more solid. Zagara for the solo lane, Arthas, Tyrael. Arthas can easily go off, especially past level 4, past level 7. He can easily go off and do mercs as much as he wants. Well, either way, those are the drafts. We're just waiting for the game to get going, ladies and gentlemen, but this will be a good time to talk about our giveaway, because not only is SteelSeries giving us the Sensei Raw Heroes of the Storm Edition mouse to give away, but they're also giving us the SteelSeries K, or I always say K, I don't know why, QCK Heroes of the Storm Edition mouse pads. So easy peasy. You want to win this? No problem. All you got to do is tweet us your Hitbox username and use the hashtag Stormgrounds in your tweet to join the Stormgrounds giveaway powered by SteelSeries. Big ups to them. And yeah, big generosity from them as well, because, you know, they want to give stuff away. They want to give it to you awesome viewers. Do I get any of this? Nope. Does the production get any of this? Nope. This is all for you. This is your giveaway. So be the MVP. Don't just let your dreams be dreams. Get yourself some Heroes of the Storm swag, courtesy of SteelSeries. Brilliant. And there we go. Match is now going to be commencing. We did get our observer back in. Brilliant. Awesome. Everybody's going to have a stream, because everybody loves streams all the time. So Blackheart's Bay. You haven't seen it in a while? Don't worry. We got you. Collect the doubloons, turn into blooms, and then bombard your opponents because of doubloons. Hopefully you see a little bit of a pattern there. It's all about coin control. If you have a level advantage, if you have map control, you control basically the mid. And the mid is the big turn-in areas for the chests. So attacking treasure chests, mercenaries, skeletons, get you doubloons. You do need to keep in mind, you know, somebody that can go off and solo mercenaries fairly well. Arthas can do it, Zagara can do it, Rhaegar can do it, Nubarak can do it. So we got that covered. From both sides, left to right, you're probably going to see a lot of focus on coins. Probably not a lot of aggression from either side. We just don't really have the comps for it. Maybe we're going to try to catch out some people with Jaina, but we'll have to see. But speaking of Jaina, on the left-hand side, it's going to be Gamers2, Yahweh, Backsec, Saichu, Leo from Korea, and Nicker. We're going to be making up the team here on the left-hand side. Off to the right, though, Jackal, Zartez, Bad Benny once more on his Falstead, Henky Boy on the Rhaegar, and Kefka bottom lane for that Anubarak. They make up the team of Genei Ryodan, one of our two qualifying teams. They fought their way to be here, and so far, they have not been able to put up against Gamers2. They are trailing 1-0. This is match point if Gamers can take it. Nobody's going to go and die for the eye, but you can see Saichu. He has a little bit of vision. Zartaz just kind of freaking out a little bit there on Azbanan. Does have the taste for blood ready to go. What else do we got? Reconstitution, Purge Evil, Block, Bad Benny. Oh, Bad Benny. Oh, Bad Benny. They don't know Saichu's there. They don't know. Oh, Saichu. Never mind. It's gone. It's done. Jackal is likely just to get some hits here, but yeah, that is it. I really expected Saichu to kind of come in from the side and look for the sandwich. Could have been amazing, but it wasn't. Oh well, that's fine. Leo from Korea was holding down the mid there, and of course now you can see Zartaz and crew. They're going to be looking to play the stacking game, but unfortunately, stacking game is going to take a little bit of a break as Jackal's going to drop. Johanna with that unstoppable, it's not going to be enough to get away from the ice magics, and look at that, bottom lane as well. A Nubarak Zagara trade out. Bad Benny with the fly. He'll actually be able to reap the reward of that entire chest as Nubarak and Zagara are going to be MIA. But we put in 5 coins there from Leo from Korea. And he's going to come down here, notice that the chest is gone. They had a creep tumor there anyways. So they knew Bad Benny was picking it up. But already with the quick 5 turn-in, Rhaegar's going to drop into the top lane. No Azmodan there for him. So again, between the Jaina, between the Azmodan, that's just not enough to kind of get that stacking game going. Need a third to do it. I kind of expected to see the Rhaegar there. Anubarak and Falstead are basically just kind of, you know, keeping their cool down here. Bad Benny pushing in the lane, hoping to keep the Zagara there. Will he go for the turn-in? He will. He needs to get rid of these 5 coins as quick as he can. But because of, you know, certain deaths already, Henky Boy, he's off to do some mercenaries. But, you know, his team actually might need him here. Saichu with that permanent slow around him. The roots are coming out here. The body block. Jackal can't actually get through the gate. He's once more going to drop as the unstoppable Johanna. This early game is not working for Genei as of yet. We got Kefka and Nicker. They're into the bottom. They're going to go head-to-head, but the Hydra's come out, and Kefka's going to go for a run. Again, Zagara is just an absolute monster when it comes to these lanes. Henky Boy has 2 more coins to his name, but still, he's a little bit more on that defensive as well. The 3-man ping pong from Yahweh, Leo from Korea, and Backsec have so far been put in the irons. to Genei. Saichu into the bottom, or well, into the mid, I should say. He's gonna get low, but it's enough at the end of it. Backsec with that Blizzard is able to take home Falstead. Back to the chilly wastes of the hinterlands, man. And a whole level now coming out ahead here from Gamers2. Kefka cannot contest Nick into this bottom lane, and this 3-man roam between the double ice and Tyrael have now netted us 5 takedowns back and forth. No coin focus whatsoever coming up from Gamers2. They're just basically focusing on this early game. There should be chests, I want to say, sometime in the next little bit. But still, again, if you control the map, if you control these top 2 lanes, you basically control the chests. Now, we do got a little bit of return damage coming in here. Saichu was a little bit way too far forward there. He is going to drop. Pretty unspectacular, if you ask me. I mean, the laser hands were very evident there, but he went back in anyways. That's going to be some good catch-up experience here for Genei. And as you can see, I mean, they're about to hit 7 at, well, not quite the same time as their opponents, but they are picking up 7 in a respectable amount of time afterwards. Nick still pushing in his advantage into the bottom lane. Has a rapid incubation to go with that Zagara. Zagara's not going anywhere. She is just going to push and push and push. We got Seasoned Marksman and once again Flow Rider here. Secret weapon for our Falstead. He's looking for those auto attack builds. You know, not a bad idea. Level 13 likely for the Giant Killer because, again, double tank. You need to start shredding them down. Giant Killer's a really good way to do that. But we had enough coins. Genei actually gets the first turn in. Would you believe? The coin focus from them have actually ended up a little bit better. Problem is, I don't think there's enough damage on this gate to yield a fort. No, there's not. There's not enough cannonballs actually to yield the fort. Now, had it been on the flip side, now already missing a tower here, Yahweh and crew would have easily had a fort. And in fact, they're just going to keep setting up. They are taking more and more siege damage here, so when they do have this next turn, and they got 5 coins ready to go, so it's going to happen, then they will get that fort. And that fort, by the end of it, will actually be very close to level 10 for them. Because of this additional pressure from Bad Benny bottom, Kefka and the Stone Bros have actually now been able to push right up. Nicker, not on top of that creep. Well, he put down a new tumor there. He's looking a little bit worse for wear. He's now going to try to use the movement speed bonus. He's looking for this kill on top of Kefka. There's 1. Needs 3. 2. 3. Doesn't quite get it. There's a shield by the end of it all. And it looks like Kefka will live to see another day, but he has to go home first. This is going to be a little bit of, again, a bigger experience advantage going the way of Gamers2. 5 coins in the bank, 7 on person. Gamers2 looking for that level 10, but still the experience is neck and neck. I gotta say, we've come back very nicely here from Genei. Making some of these pushing plays has really done some good things for them, which is, again, like, good. They needed to fix that early game. Bad Benny, though. Here comes the level 10. Body blocked and the judgment. It's going to be enough. Good night, sweet prince. Saichu coming into this. Jackal not getting really too far out of this one. We got a web wrap out, but it's not going to be enough. Johanna is going to drop. Saichu low hit points, but that's not going to be from Zartaz. That orb from downtown. It's not going to take down Saichu. Instead, now it's going to be that Syndragosa. You can see him now out there. All the ice everywhere. But there's not enough gas left in the tank for a chase, and Gamers2 will actually now reset. Remember, there was only 4 of them here. They got 2 takedowns in a 4v4 situation. Kefka was back at home. Zagara was still bottom, and Zagara now pushing in with nobody here to contest her. Throws out the incubation. Bad Benny with that fly is just going to try to shove off her a little bit. And as things settle, we're looking for the coin turn, and Saichu's here. Kind of playing it safe. Doesn't know where they are. All right, Henky Boy has 10 coins. He's just going to try to play a little bit of poke here. Yeah, he's going to wait for Saichu, throw it down, poke away. Bad Benny coming up, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough to take down the Arthas. Next Chester up. Jacko and Kefka, double tank hype, looking for this push and this turn. And Bad Benny comes down. Saichu and Nicker should be able to pick up that. But still, it's 10 coins now going in from Henky Boy. They put in the 10. Oh, great unstoppable there from Johanna. We have a web wrap again into the mid. Will this be enough to keep up Kefka? It wasn't enough to keep up the Falstead. Drops his coins into the bottom. Saichu and Nicker able to pick that one up. A lot of pressure from G2 everywhere. They are maintaining that experience and that pressure. They're going to pick up majority of those coins bottom. They pick them up there from the mid. 9 coins here from Saichu and nobody to contest. This will be the mid fort, guaranteed. especially if that well goes down. Mid fort is going to be done. I don't think that's enough for a top. I don't think it's enough. There's still a tower there as well, but still, that will now put us into the 13 mark. It's going to be about Nicker now, bottom lane. Bottom lane, he's pushing in. Kefka with the body blocks. That should be enough. The lightning strikes and Bad Benny are finally going to put to rest the bug. And Zagar is going to take a little bit of a dirt nap. There goes the mid. We have 6 shots left. 2 of them are going to get soaked up by the top tower. That will not be enough for this fort unaided, but look at this. Baxex coming in. We've cleaned up the creeps. The creeps are now here, as well as Leo from Korea, and they do enough damage by the end of it for the second fort and level 14 as well. Bottom lane, though, Henky Boy and crew, they're not just resting on their laurels. Kefka and Bad Benny helping them out. They are trying to get a big push of their own. Zagar is nowhere to be found. G2 is actually not really mobilizing for the defense. They kind of are now, but it's still more or less the defense of the turn-in. We got 5 coins to 15. That's still turn-in potential from either side. We already got 10 in the bank there from Genei. All they need to do is put in 2 more, but they're going to find Yahweh. And Yahweh with 9. He's a big target right now. 9 of those 15. Both sides do have the potential to turn in, but will they? They can't dance around here for too long. They're going to lose out too much experience. And there we go with that orb into the mid. That's level 13 for Zartaz. Has that March of Sin, has that Inferno Glow ready to go, but because they gave it up, it's going to be the third turn in. Yeah, third turn in here for G2. That's the bottom 4. That's going to be starting to work on, I think, the mid-keep towers. But big fight coming in. You see the Syndragosa go out. The web wrap. It's not enough for Johanna. She's going to drop. The Tyrael Judgment is good. Kefka cannot get away from Saichu. The laser hands are just not going to be enough to dissuade the Arthas from these body blocking maneuvers. And now Yahweh, he's looking to body block out Henki. That's going to be the Rhaegar, but it's just going to be a Rhaegar kill by the end of it. And 4 takedowns nil. And the turn-in. Much more experience now going into the hands of Gamers2, and on top of that, they are mobilizing for the boss top. 16 to 13 for the sweet spot. They have that talent tier advantage, and no coins after that fight are going to be held here by Genei Ryodan. Things are starting to go bad to worse. We were pretty much neck and neck at the level 10 mark, but everything has gone the way of Gamers2 by the end of it. They've gotten turn-ins, they've gotten forts, the gate. The keep gate in the mid is gone. Tower down to half. No mules in sight. And now a boss marching down into this top lane. This is going to have to be a mobilized defense for the side of Genei. Zartaz sitting at 206 bonus stacks at the 1050 mark. It's about on par of what we've been seeing tonight for Asmodeans. Not too shabby. I do think so myself, but this cannon, it's gone. Second tower about to drop as well. Throwing out the Syndragosa, hits that fort. Nothing to attack this golem except that one tower off to the side. And we are starting to push in as hard as we can from Gamers2. Judgment going in. It finds the Falstad, but there's nothing else in the bank. The Hinterlands doesn't seem to hit anything at all. And the towers are still going down and down. Johanna's going to drop a new rack. The double tank front line is gone. And Genei Ryodan loses out that first keep, and the boss is still marching in. Could this actually be core? The boss is going to drop, but still, the pressure is there. We had the laser hands. They're going to get stopped out by this maw. Here comes Yahweh. They are going to take down the Asmodan. The Rhaegar heal is not enough. And that will mean Mad Benny off to the side is just going to have to watch in despair as we go 2-0 for Gamers2 in this best of 3. And they are going to the winner's match to face up against Team Bob for our last best of 3 of the day here for the Hitbox Stormgrounds number 2. Unfortunate that our qualifying teams just could not put up the fights against these household brands of esports here in Europe. LGA dropped 2-0 to Virtus Pro, and now it looks like Genei Ryodan is going to be dropping 2-0 to Gamers2 as well. In fact, I don't think we've had a game. We had a game 3 yesterday from Pushek up against, I don't even remember, but that did actually go all the way to game 3. Unfortunately, today, both of them 2-0s. We're going to have to see what our winner's match has in store for us, as it will be Bob up against Gamers2 for the last best of 3 of the day. Do we have any word from our Zoya? We do not. It was Team Kingwin yesterday up against Pushek, but Pushek is proving to be a little bit of the stronger team. Looks like it might be solo cast hype, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you are enjoying yourselves out there from the Hitbox Stormgrounds, powered by SteelSeries. Big thanks to them again and again. But we're going to take a little bit of a break, find the team, set ourselves up. They're going to do the vetoes as well, so it might take a few extra minutes. Grab yourselves a drink, go grab a beer, come on back. Four-Core Jester will be here and waiting for the Stormgrounds. And with this, we will have not only the winners today, but whoever wins this is accepted into the grand finals, I believe. Because it will be Pushek sitting there, and it should be the winner of this to go on to that. Winner will take home $1,000. Not too shabby for a few best of threes. So stay tuned. We're going to set that up, and hopefully you'll be here. Hit me up in chat if you want to chat, because I'll see you then.